What you are about to hear was never supposed to leak, but it did. And once you know it, you cannot unknow it. Hello, friends. My name is James, and you are watching Royal Daily Report, your number one source for the most exclusive, most shocking, and most talked about royal stories on the internet. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now because you do not want to miss what we have coming. And if you have been here from the beginning, you already know. We never stop. We never hold back. And tonight is no different. Let us get into it. He said the words out loud, publicly, on camera, to a BBC journalist. I would love a reconciliation with my family. There is no point in continuing to fight anymore. Life is precious. I do not know how much longer my father has. Those were Prince Harry's exact words. A man who once walked away from everything his family represented, who published a memoir naming names and describing private conversations, who gave an interview to Oprah that is still being referenced in royal commentary 4 years later, sat down and said out loud that he wants his brother back, that he regrets the distance, that he is ready to stop fighting. And William's response? Royal expert Ian Pelham-Turner did not mince words. He said, and I am quoting him directly, the short answer is, will William forgive Harry and Meghan and welcome them back? A big fat royal no. Tonight we are telling you the full story of Harry's plea for reconciliation and why. According to every royal expert and insider covering this story right now, William is not ready to answer it. The one demand William has placed on the table. The Diana anniversary that could destroy any remaining hope. The former aide who called William a lion king and Harry a mischievous cub. And the question that sits underneath all of it. Is there any path back for these two brothers? Or is this the story of two men who once walked behind their mother's coffin together and who will spend the rest of their lives walking in opposite directions? This is Royal Daily Report. And tonight, we are going inside the most painful relationship in the royal family. Let us start with what Harry actually said, because the words matter and they have been widely reported. In a BBC interview in 2025, Harry said something that stopped royal watchers in their tracks. He said, I would love a reconciliation with my family. There is no point in continuing to fight anymore. Life is precious. I do not know how much longer my father has. Then he added, I never asked him to intervene. I asked him to step out of the way and let the experts do their jobs. And then the most painful admission of all. He said, the king will not speak to me because of this security stuff. Read that back. A son saying on public television that his father will not speak to him. Not because of the memoir. Not because of the Oprah interview. But because of a dispute over police bodyguards. That is the level of breakdown this family has reached. And royal expert Dan Wakeford, speaking on the Royals and Censored podcast, added something that makes it even more human and more heartbreaking. He said Harry wants a reconciliation. He regrets the things he said in the book and the documentary. And doing that again is off the table. But then Wakeford said the sentence that stops you cold. He said, what is heartbreaking is that Harry has kind of hoped that William would stumble a little and reach out and need him. A younger brother, waiting for his older brother to stumble. Waiting for a moment of vulnerability that would make the first move easier. Waiting for the call that has not come. That is not the behavior of a man who wants to stay away. That is the behavior of a man who does not know how to come back. If you want to understand why William is not answering Harry's plea, subscribe to Royal Daily Report right now. Because what comes next is where this story becomes genuinely extraordinary. Now let us talk about William. Because his position in this story is the one that determines everything. And his position, according to every source covering this story in June 2026, has not moved. Royal expert Hilary Fordwich told Fox News Digital that the gulf has widened between William and Harry over the years. She said William is more resolved than ever to take action once he becomes king. His overriding concern, she said, is protecting the monarchy. Journalist Roya Nika described William as someone who holds a grudge and who chooses sides. She said, William is someone who does hold a grudge. He does choose sides. If someone picks the other side, he remembers that. British broadcaster Helena Chard said William is setting his agenda for the future of the monarchy. She said there is a difference between being ruthless and holding people accountable. And she said William is holding his brother accountable to set a precedent for his reign. And Ian Pelham-Turner, the royal expert who delivered the big fat royal no verdict, explained exactly why William's position is so firm. He said it is not about what Harry can do. The real question is what would make a seismic shift in William's determination. And he said the answer points to two things: the spare book, and the possibility of allowing Harry and Meghan back into the royal household in a way that would undermine William's own popularity with the British public. Because William's standing in Britain is built, partly, on the contrast between him and Harry, between the one who stayed and the one who left, between the one who serves and the one who publishes memoirs. And welcoming Harry back too warmly risks blurring that contrast in a way that William is apparently not prepared to accept. Like this video right now if this brother story is hitting you in a way that nothing else in the royal world does. And subscribe to Royal Daily Report, because what comes next is William's one non-negotiable demand, and it is almost impossible for Harry to meet it. Here is William's demand. According to reporting by The Blast in May 2026, citing Queen Elizabeth's former press secretary Elsa Anderson, William has one key condition for any future reconciliation. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex must step away from anything seen as monetizing their royal status. Stop using the titles commercially. Stop building brands on the back of a royal identity they voluntarily gave up. Stop being half in and half out in a way that the late Queen herself feared and specifically tried to prevent. That demand is almost impossible for Harry and Meghan to meet right now, because their entire commercial operation, as ever, the Invictus brand, Harry's speaking career, every deal and partnership they pursue, is built, to some degree, on the Sussex name, on the royal connection, on the global recognition that comes from being the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. If they stripped that away, there would be far less left. And Meghan, according to IB Times UK's June 2026 reporting, is reportedly not keen on any soft reset with the royal family beyond commercial use of the title. So William is demanding the one thing that Meghan reportedly will not give. And Harry, caught between his brother's demand and his wife's position, is the man in the impossible middle. A man who says he wants reconciliation, who regrets what he said, who is waiting for his brother to stumble and reach out, and who cannot meet the one condition his brother has placed on the table. Do not go anywhere. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report and turn on those notifications. Because what comes next is about the Diana anniversary that royal biographer Russell Myers says could decide everything. Now let us talk about the Diana factor. Because this is where the Harry and William story in 2026 reaches its most emotionally charged point. Princess Diana died on August 31, 1997. In August 2027, it will be the 30th anniversary of her death. And according to Radar Online, William is watching very closely to see what Harry does about that anniversary. Reports say Harry is developing a tribute to his mother connected to the 30th anniversary for Netflix. Meghan is reportedly involved, and that development has caused, in the words of Radar Online's sourcing, a great deal of anger for William. Because William's position on Diana's legacy is specific and non-negotiable. He believes any major tribute of this scale should fall under the responsibility of the crown, given that Diana was a serving member of the royal family. He feels her legacy carries institutional significance that needs to be safeguarded carefully and respectfully. He does not want Netflix involved. He does not want Meghan involved. And he does not want Harry turning his mother into content for a streaming platform. Radar Online reported that William is waiting to see if Harry follows through with the Netflix Diana tribute before deciding if there are any hopes of ever reconciling. That is the deadline that nobody is saying out loud, but that everyone in royal circles understands. If Harry goes ahead with a Netflix tribute to Diana tied to the 30th anniversary, William's wall of silence reportedly becomes permanent. No more glimmers of hope. No more perennial optimism from former aides. Just two brothers who share a mother's memory and cannot agree on how to honor it. Let us talk about what happened at Peter Phillips's wedding in June 2026. Because this is where the theoretical question of whether Harry and William will ever be in the same room again became suddenly, uncomfortably concrete. Peter Phillips, Princess and son, married Nurse Harriet Sperling on June 6, 2026. It was a family occasion, a royal wedding, the kind of event that brings the extended family together. And according to Now to Love and multiple other outlets, the palace was nervous about whether Harry would attend and whether the brothers would end up in the same room. Harry was not on the official guest list according to reports. He was not invited to the wedding of his own cousin. The same pattern that has played out at every significant royal family occasion since 2022 repeated itself. An event, a family gathering, a room full of people who share Harry's blood and his history. And Harry, 5,000 miles away in California, excluded from another moment he cannot get back. Former royal aide Jamie Lowther Pinkerton, who served as equerry to Queen Elizabeth II and as a dedicated aide to both William and Harry when they were younger, broke his silence about the brothers in an exclusive interview with The Times published in June 2026. He was asked directly about the possibility of reconciliation, and his answer was careful, deliberate, and in its own quiet way, more revealing than any direct statement could have been. He said, "Do you know what? I think I had better steer clear of that hairy issue." Then he paused, and then he said, "What I would say is that I was and am very fond of him. He has huge redeeming features, and I am a perennial optimist." He described William as the Lion King, Harry as a mischievous cub, and he said he loved them both. A man who knew both brothers as boys, who watched them grow up, who served the institution that shaped them both, and who, when asked whether they can reconcile, chose not to answer directly. Not because he does not have an opinion, but because, as someone who genuinely loves both of them, the honest answer is apparently too painful to say out loud. Here is what this story ultimately tells us. Harry wants his brother back. That much is documented, confirmed, and said in his own words on national television. He regrets what he said. He is waiting for William to stumble enough to reach out first. He is watching a clock tick on his father's health and feeling the weight of everything he walked away from getting heavier by the year. But William is not stumbling. William is building. He is building the monarchy he intends to lead. He is setting precedents. He is holding people accountable. He is, in the words of every royal expert covering him in 2026, more resolved than ever about what kind of king he will be and what kind of relationships he will allow to define his reign. And those two realities, Harry wanting reconciliation and William not being ready to give it, are not moving toward each other. They are moving in opposite directions. In July 2026, Harry will be in Birmingham. William will be in Windsor. They will be in the same country for the first time since September 2022 without sharing a building or a room or a conversation. Two brothers, one country, and a gulf that every person who loves both of them is watching, with a feeling somewhere between heartbreak and helplessness as it refuses to close. This is Royal Daily Report, and we will keep watching this story for every development, because it is not over, but it is the saddest story the royal family has ever told. That is all for tonight, friends. I am James, and this has been Royal Daily Report. If this story hit different for you, hit that like button right now. Subscribe if you have not already, and turn on those notifications because we drop new stories every single week. Share this video with one friend who loves royal news. I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay informed, stay curious, and stay royal. Goodbye, friends. Hello, friends. If you are not subscribed to Royal Daily Report yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button right now.